For this problem in here, if psi theta equals to 7 over 25, and we know the theta, our angle is living in quotient 2, we have to find exact value without solving for the angle theta for A. Let's get to A first. We have a lot of options for cosine 2 theta. We have 3 versions of cosine 2 theta formulas, right? In here, the problem gives us the psi value of the angle, right? So the easiest thing that we can do in here is to take the version of cosine 2 theta that only contain psi, right? And that would be 1 minus 2 psi squared of theta. Okay, this is just a formula part, right? So now we're just gonna plug in the sign value, right? So 1 is 1, minus is minus, 2 is 2, and a sign here. Together, psi theta is 7 over 25, okay? And then we get the square, so make sure you don't forget the square. So keep in mind that a lot of people, they make a big mistake by, mistaking that 7 over 25 is either psi or theta. That's wrong. Psi theta together is 7 over 25. Another way to remember it is that if you want to, you can definitely rewrite a formula as 1 minus 2. And as a group, you would do psi of theta square, so that you would catch yourself saying that, well, psi of theta, the whole thing, it is 7 over 25. Okay, so you don't have to get confused whether 7 over 25 is psi or theta. Okay. And after that, you put everything into the calculator, right? One step to the answer, you're going to get 527, all divided by 625. And this is it. This is the final answer for part A. Okay? And then for part B, we have to find the tangent of pi over 2. In order to do that, we can use, a lot of versions for the tangent of the half angle in here. One of the options that you can use in here is 1 minus cosine theta divided by psi theta. Okay. If you want to, you can use other versions. That's fine too. And in order to make it work, we have a psi theta given from the problem, which is 7 over 25, right? So this is done. The 1 is just 1, the minus is just minus. But we don't know the value of cosine theta yet. So let's get to it, right? We know the sine of theta from the beginning of the problem, it equals to 7 over 25, right? So that is helpful. How's that helpful? Well, first of all, let's draw a right triangle. Okay, let's draw a right triangle, any form of right triangle that you want to. Identify your angle theta, right? And then by definition of SOHCAHTOA, let me put it in here. SOHCAHTOA. Sine of theta equals to 7 over 25 given from the problem. And by the definition, SOHCAHTOA, we know the sine equals to opposite divided by hypotenuse. So from this definition, we know that opposite to the angle right here, the side would be 7, and then hypotenuse, it would be 25. So our job is to find the adjacent side, okay? And in order to do that, well, we can do O squared for opposite square plus A squared, adjacent square, equals to hypotenuse square. We're going to plug in the numbers, and we're looking for the value of A, adjacent side. Okay, so if you put all that into the calculator, fast forward, you're going to get A squared equals to 25 squared minus 7 squared, right? And that would be 576. You're going to take the square root of both sides, and you have two options, right? So now you're going to ask yourself whether A, the adjacent side, equals to positive 24 or negative 24. So I'm going to put plus minus in here because we have two options, right? So adjacent in here, the value of it would be 24. But then as for the sign of it, we don't know it yet, okay? And now the second piece of the given information, we know that the angle, it lives in quotient 2. This is a big piece of information. Keep in mind that in quotient 2, let's draw the unit circle real quick, right? So in quotient 2, if you're living in quotient 2 right here, your x would be positive, or actually your x would be negative, and your y would be positive, right? So that means your cosine would be negative, and your sine, it would have to be positive. And then tension, just FYI if you want to do it now, which is sine divided by cosine, positive divided by negative, you're going to have a negative sign for tension in quotient 2. Okay? So taking all of that information in, let's find the sine value and cosine value of this angle, right? Sine is given, 7 over 25. And then cosine of theta, it equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent in here, we just found a value of it, which is 24. Hypotenuse given from the problem is 25, right? So if you in quotient 2, your cosine has to be a negative value. So that's why the 24 in here, it would have to take the negative sign, okay? And at that step, you can erase your positive sign in here from the adjacent step like this, okay? And now that we have all the information, we can go back to the original problem, and then we can just plug in a number. So we go 1 minus cosine here would be negative 24 over 25, which is found out, right? And then the sine value is given from the problem. It is 7 over 25. You can put the whole thing into the calculator, and it's going to give you 7 as the final answer. Or if you want to do it by hand, you also can do that by doing 1 plus 24 over 25, right? Common denominator. 1 is 25 over 25. 2 minuses make a positive. So you have 25 over 25 plus 24 over 25 for only the denominator of the problem. And that would be 49 over 25. Okay? And then I want to divide by 7 over 25, which means I'm going to have to multiply by the reciprocal of it, which is 25 over 7. At this step, I'm going to cancel the 25s. The 49 and the 7, they can both divide it by 7. So 49 divided by 7, I have a 7. 7 divided by 7, I have a 1. Together, I'm going to have 7 as my final answer, as what I'm supposed to get over here. Okay?